From the time when we first came to Falls Village, or from the time when I was a little child here, the Falls Village Fire Department has always been on the top of my list.
The amazing thing about the service that we got from the Falls Village Fire Department is that every one of the people involved was a volunteer. And it's so incredible that this community has produced people who are willing to devote their time and energy to serving the community, either with the emergency response team, with the fire department, or all the other public services that they provide.
The importance of volunteerism is immeasurable, and it also brings a kind of heart-to-heart connection with your community.
My sisters remember going to the annual Memorial Day parade, and what they liked best about the parade after Grassy Hill Cemetery, and then going down to the Catholic Cemetery on Dublin Road, was to get to ride back on the Aaron's Fox. We were very lucky to have the Falls Village Fire Department, and I understand this is their 100th anniversary, and boy, would I like to see them in another 100 years.
What do you do if you have an emergency? If somebody needs an ambulance, what do? What do you call? Call 911. There you go. Does everybody still have their first aid kit? Yeah, right?
Engine 6, we have 2. We have engine 9. If you take away one of those 3 things, the fire will die down. Okay? What do you think water does to a fire? Which of the 3 things does water take away from the fire?
So as the Falls Village Fire Department, we've been doing this for 100 years of volunteer service. Basically, one class I took at some point throughout all of my training, they said if someone calls 911 and the dispatcher doesn't know what to send, they call the fire department. So you just never know when your pager goes off what you might do, but we're here to help.
And we're here every Thursday, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, if anybody wants to come down and see what we do and see how you might fit into the organization. And we're happy to give you a tour, show you everything, maybe even get you a ride in the fire truck. Ray will drive you.
Hi, my name is Bill Beebe. I had joined the fire department in January of 1971. And one of the reasons I did join is because I used to live right behind, the firehouse when it was downtown. So I used to go down there because all the time, and help them wash trucks or pack hose and stuff like that. The day I turned 18, they gave me a application that said, "Okay, Bill, do it." So I always like to help folks, and I still do. After 53 years, I still like to do it. So that's one of the reasons, the biggest reason why I did join.
I'm Hazel McGuire, 52-year member of the auxiliary, and 5-year member of the fire department, and lived in Falls Village most of my life. I joined the fire service 52 years ago, and it was joining the ladies auxiliary because my family has been heavily involved with the fire department for years.
I went to fire school in 1973, and I believe I was one of the first ones to go there from this fire department. And when we went into the smokehouse, we didn't use air packs. We didn't use them. We went in there, put the fire out, and then came back out. So, and we used to have the long coats and the high boots. You know, it wasn't much, it didn't really help you much.
Some of the fondest memories are the pumpkin contest, the parades, the get-togethers. The fundraisers are fun. We all turn it into fun after a while. It might be work, but we enjoy work. We enjoy play, we enjoy work. And everything works out very well.
My name is Dave Sini. I was fire chief from 2007 through 2013.
I'm Tim Downs. I took over after Dave, so 2013 to 2021, and then I gave it to Matt.
Matt Hansen. I followed Tim as chief from 2021 to current.
Yeah, you just kind of start out at the bottom and work your way up, and when the old chief decides he's had enough, then you wind up falling in.
The old chief, huh?
Well, past. I think I was 26 years old when I moved, or 23 when I moved up here, and I didn't know anybody because I was from Washington. So a great way to get to know the people in your town is join the fire department. And all of a sudden, you're in a brotherhood, you're in a family, and you work together, and they help you with different things, and you learn how to fight fires.
Matt Hansen. I'm the fire chief currently in the Falls Village Fire Department. I joined at 16 years old as a junior in another department, and I've been chief for, this will be my 3rd year.
I'm Tim Downs. I joined the department in 92, and I think I became an officer in 93, and I made it up to chief for 7 years. And I'm not smart enough to leave, so I'm still an assistant chief for a little while, maybe next year.
Raymond Flint, joined the department in 2011, became a lieutenant in 2012, and went to captain in 2013, and still captain.
First Lieutenant Tom Wilson joined the fire department about 4 years ago, and a lieutenant for 2 years now.
My name is Ben Menages. I started about 17 years ago and have been lieutenant for about 6 years.
Peter Pixley, I'm a fire police lieutenant. I started, I think, 2018.
So the fire department bought its first ambulance in 1956, and we had to add on to the firehouse to make room for it. We only had 2 bays in 56. So they stored the first ambulance in the town garage, and they added the 2 bays on the back side. They had to make an agreement with the inn.
I think during my time we had, I can remember 2 instances specifically. One was a multi-person fatality down on Route 63 where a car hit a tree and burst into flames. That was one of the most horrible calls I think I've ever been on. And the other one was a barn fire up on Route 7, not far from the Canaan line.
Oh, Fitch's old barn.
Yeah. The day of the barn fire, it was really windy, and one barn had already burnt to the ground before we even got there. And the wind had blown all the embers into the neighboring fields and woods.
Yeah, across the street there.
And there was fires everywhere. Everywhere you looked, there was brush fires and grass fires. So we had lots and lots of mutual aid that day. Mutual aid is when you request assistance from our neighboring towns and fire departments, and they come to help us when we need them, and we go there to help them when they need it. whether it's manpower or vehicles or trucks, whatever it is they need.
Yeah, and we travel to New York State, we travel to Massachusetts, and sometimes you'll do classes with people that are like from the center of the state, and they try to explain how all this stuff works, and we like raise our hand, we're like, we already do this everywhere, and it's second nature to us.
And so every time that happens, all our neighbors come over. And boy, we work well with our neighbors.
We have our biological family, and then we have our fire department family. And there's no better families. Those are the best families. The Ladies Auxiliary doesn't require any training. You can just come and be one of us.
Yep, good sense of
We're
humor is
good-
helpful.
Yeah. People don't know what we do as an auxiliary. We support our fire department members and EMS members on calls. And we fundraise with them. We help them wherever we can.
Yeah, sometimes that looks like making breakfast sandwiches at an early morning scene. That looks like bringing coffee or drinks or water, dinners late night.
We do go to scenes when requested. If people have been on a call for a long length of time, a car accident or whatever, fire scene, we get notification and then we bring what the firemen or EMS need at that time. I mean, we all grew up here, so we all know a lot of the people here, so being able to help them when things are in a bad situation is so rewarding.
There are so many ways to volunteer within the fire department. You don't have to go into a burning building or help on the ambulance. You can come to the auxiliary, help support the fire department and EMS. And there's also ways through the fire department, through being a special member.
Ladies only meet once a month anyway, so it's not a big commitment of time. We make our meetings very sweet, short, but when we're needed, and we're there.
My name is Michelle Hansen. I'm the EMS captain. I've been the captain for about 11 years and an EMT or EMR for 15 years.
I am Andrea Downs. I am the first lieutenant. I first became an officer in around 1999. I had been the captain, and now I'm functioning as first lieutenant.
My name's Thomas Sherwood. I've been the second lieutenant for 3 years.
Being in EMS is very time consuming. That's where the majority of the calls from the department come from. They are EMS related. It can take a lot of your time, although it's extremely rewarding. So once we convince someone to give that time, usually it goes pretty well.
I mean, I think it is hard to give as much time as what we give, but we love what we do. So we continue to do it, right? Continue to give to our community.
All three of us come from tradition of volunteerism in the fire service and in EMS. All of our fathers were involved in the fire service for many, many years. And so, and now I've carried it down to my children. Thomas's little guy is already hanging out at the firehouse, and we know that he will be a member as he gets older. So, you know, it's a great tradition to be able to pass down to your family.
A good memory for me was that I responded to a call at the bottom of my road for somebody who had fallen down the stairs and was really hurt. And to come to find out, you know, a couple weeks later how hurt Mr. Lanier was and that we helped him to survive was amazing.
I'm Mary Lanier.
I'm Richard Lanier, and we had an event at our house at 18 Brewster Road in 2010, which the Falls Village Fire Department played a major role in saving my life. I wouldn't be alive today if it weren't for the Falls Village Fire Department.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I was sleeping in bed and I heard this great, huge crash downstairs. And I walked all around the house looking, and when I got to the front hallway, there was Richard lying in a pool of blood, face down, with teeth floating around in the blood, and it didn't seem that he was alive. So I called 911, and and the EMT came immediately. This was in the middle of the night. And I was very, very surprised at how they didn't hurry. They were very slow and very, very, very thoughtful about how they moved him. And it took them maybe a half an hour to get him on to the stretcher. But I remember Michelle Hansen and Allison. And the two of them were very much in front of what was happening and urging everybody else to be very slow and careful.
It turns out that I broke the second vertebrae. It's called the hangman's fracture because it's usually the bone that breaks when they hang you. Turns out that my broken bone, the broken second vertebrae, was about a millimeter away from my spinal cord. And had they moved me roughly, or if I'd been moved quickly, the chances of that spinal cord being severed were pretty good.
So it's really all about connection. These volunteers that are engaged in small communities like this, just get out of bed and come immediately, is a rare thing. You don't see it in urban areas. You don't see it in the life that we spent in New York for 50 years. You see it here, and you see how it has to do with connection, because these people come out and they pretty much know the people that they're coming to help. You just can't even describe how wonderful it is to see familiar face saving your husband.
Yeah.
It really is so rewarding when you can take what is the worst day of their life and you can bring a little bit of joy to it. You can make them feel a little better. People really love having their neighbors coming to help them. Someone who's not a stranger, who walks through their doors at the worst time in their life.
I'm Tracy Atwood. I live in Falls Village. This is a house we bought in 1982, but we didn't move here permanently till about 2006. I had a fire here on the 13th of May in 2013. I got up on the ladder and then up on the roof of the back porch and was scraping paint, and it was old paint that was, I think, lead paint, many coats, and the only way to scrape it was to heat it with a heat gun.
Tracy had gone up on the ladder again to continue his work when all of a sudden I hear a frantic pounding on the window. I need help. I went outside and investigated, and there was smoke and flame coming out of the eaves of the house, very high up, 3 stories, because it's a walkout basement.
There was dust, and the dust caught just like that. By the time I got back up, it had shot. It didn't stay in the same location. It wasn't burning anything there. It was just burning that dust. I called to Mary, who was in the house, and told her to call the fire department.
This surprised me because he would probably be one of the last people to ask for help with anything. But when Tracy says call the fire department, I immediately came into the house and did so.
The Falls Village Fire Department came very quickly.
It was a fire that went up into the attic from the eave. So you could walk right into the first and second floor of the house. No smoke, no heat. But it was very, very hot in that attic. Guys went up there and came back down with damaged helmets because of the heat.
They went in the house and up the stairs and up the attic stairs. By now, smoke is coming out of not just this, the eave on the back of the house, but the attic windows, and you could tell that the problem was spreading rapidly.
It was me, Bill Beebe, and Rebecca, and we went up into that attic, and they were behind me, and it's an old house, and the stairs going up in the attic were tiny. And when you got a bunch of excited firefighters behind you that are pushing you, and you're trying to woe up, and I peeked up in there, and I couldn't see anything, and literally my ears, I thought fire. I kept looking over this way. It was so hot that I thought literally there was fire right here, and my ears were so hot, and I was trying to get communication to them that we needed to back down, because I kind of felt up there, and it was a lot of stuff up in the attic, and it was way too hot to go up in there.
At some point, when the fire continued to spread in the attic, and they weren't sure that they were going to be able to contain it, the fire department asked if we had any valuables in the house. Of course, Mary's valuables would be books. Firemen came in and started carrying out books and found our important papers and carried them out.
We went into the first and second floors and took out all the furniture and the dishes, the violins and whatever else we could find that we thought might get damaged, because Sharon came up with their ladder truck, as well as North Canaan's ladder truck was there. And they wound up setting that up on top and spraying water down on top of the house, which was put the fire out, but it also, all that water went right through the house.
They managed to save the house, and the house was then restored to a condition where it feels very much like the original, and we're very pleased with that. Without the fire department, we would have probably lost the whole thing, and this historic home would not be here.
The Falls Village Fire Department is there when you need them. And they are an institution, and I'm just proud to be living in a place where we have an institution such as the Falls Village Fire Department and the Emergency Services Ambulance that you can count on 24 hours a day, every day of the year. And I have no idea how these people do it day after day, and they still smile.
So I had read a statistic that during COVID, we lost about 1/3 of firefighter volunteers. And a lot of them weren't replaced because they either retired out or they didn't want to come back to the service. So we're still trying to replenish a lot of those volunteers from 3-4 years ago. We could always use more people who are want to come and serve the community and be part of a family of people that just care about each other and the community. We love to have more people, more young people who have the energy to want to go on calls, that want to take training, that want to be a part of our group. It makes it easier when we show up on a scene and we've got 10 or 12 people instead of 4. So we'd love to have more join our fire department and participate, and the workload just gets easier when there's more people.
In the last year, we've got a handful of new people, and it's really been amazing. Like our Thursday night trainings, we've actually combined like 3 weeks worth of things into 1 week now because we have enough new people.
It is nice to have younger people because it is a young person's occupation. So somebody like me, I can help roll hose to some extent, but I'm not going to be climbing in a building anymore or that kind of stuff. But I still can help wherever I can.
It is really rewarding to help people. And like we said a little bit earlier, it doesn't matter whether or not you want to come down and just help out. We'll take any of the help that we can get. And it doesn't mean that you have to go running into a burning building or go to ambulance calls. If you just want to help out, help out with the administration side, anything. So we'll take the help. But it's all about, pride in your town and community service, really.
To pay for paid service, you are looking at $1 million to your community if you were to pay for a two-man crew 24/7 in your community. So this is a way that we can serve the people who live here as well as help with the financial health of our community that we live in.
We are a very happy family. And just like in families, there's always our differences, but we all are good together and we support each other.
And we're still family.
And very unique.
Yep, for sure.
I would like to see everyone stop in on a Thursday night and pick up an application, see what we're about, spend some time with us. You know, it's serious work, but we try to have fun while we're doing it. So it's a great sense of community, and really these people are my family. They're not just my friends and the people that I volunteer with.